Storytime Online. My name is Miss Jennifer.
And I'm Miss Ellie.
And today we're going to be having some high-flying fun as we have stories all about airplanes. You know, we've been doing a lot of different types of transportation. We did stories about cars. And last week we did stories about trains. You remember the sign for trains? You're going to kind of put two fingers up on both hands and crisscross them and kind of brush them against each one another. So trains. And today the sign for planes is you're going to put your two middle fingers down with your other fingers up and your thumb out to the side, and you're going to fly it like an airplane. So airplanes, we're going to have a lot of fun learning all about not only airplanes but other things you might see in the sky. It's a little clue of something that might be coming up later on. Well, let's get ready to get our alligators out. A is for alligator, chomp, chomp, chomp. B is for bouncing, so we'll hop, hop, hop. C is for circle, so let's turn around. And D is for we all sit down and we crisscross applesauce, ready to be a listener. The first book that I'd like to share with you is one that we have just purchased at the library. The title of this book is Away in My Airplane, and the author of this book is Margaret Wise Brown. So she's a very famous children's author. The illustrator for this book is Henry Fisher. The illustrations are so lovely. I know you'll enjoy it. Riding along in my airplane, over the clouds and through the rain. Riding along in my airplane, sometimes I meet a bird way up high in the sky, flying almost as fast as I fly, but not as high. Riding along in my airplane, out of the sunlight and into the rain. You notice how the text kind of moves like an airplane through the page? I love that. Then out of the clouds and sun again, riding along in my airplane. Do you see a hot air balloon? That's in the sky too, isn't it? Down below, the people go, very small and very slow. They look like bugs and ants and flies. And I wonder if they realize what they look like to my eyes. Something down on all the people. Riding along in my airplane. Look at all the different types of airplanes there are. I wave to the sun and I shout to the rain. Then with a roar of my motors that drowns me out, I dash straight up in the air and wheel about. I plunge through the sunlight and I hurl through the rain. Then I glide down to the earth in my airplane. The end. What a lovely story about going on in an airplane. Have you ever been in an airplane? We were talking about that last week. It can be really exciting to be up so high, up in the clouds, and look down on all the people and the cars that are down below. They can look very, very small. One thing that you might fly in or be up in the air in is a hot air balloon. I've got a little story to tell you about a hot air balloon. See if you can remember your colors. Pretty balloons are in the air. There are lots of colors everywhere. There's red and yellow and green and blue. Can you see the colors too? Floating high in the sky, lots more colors we can spy. There's orange and pink and purple and brown. Balloons are high above the ground, up high we'll ride, and look down below as we ride in our hot air balloon rainbow. Look at all the different colors of the hot air balloons. Every year out in Arizona, they have a huge hot air balloon show. That would be really exciting to go and see. Miss Ellie has a story that has a lot of different types of airplanes in her story as well. Let me get these off the board for you, Miss Ellie. I'll let you share.
Hey, the story I Love Planes by Philemon Sturge, illustrated by Shari Halpin. Planes, planes, planes. I like planes. I want to fly up high and scratch the sky, or float to the moon in a big balloon. That looks like Miss Jennifer's hot air balloon story. Or like a blimp at a ball game. Like to loop the loop and power dive. And hover and soar. Or shoot from a boat with an ear-blasting roar. How cool is that? I want to land on sea and not get wet. Then zoom to Grandpa's in my jumbo jet. But most of all, I want to fly where the stars twinkle in the sky. And visit Mom. Look, I bet she's an astronaut. How cool would that be? Planes, planes, planes. I love planes. And here's some planes and jets, and a satellite, and a seaplane. Wonder what else flies in the sky. And I have another story to tell you guys about some airplanes. Can you guys help me count some airplanes? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 airplanes. I wonder what happens to this one. 5 little airplanes up in the sky, flying through the clouds up so high. 1 little airplane, too tired to soar, lands on the ground. And then there were only how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 airplanes. Good job. So 4 little airplanes up in the sky, flying through the trees, up sky high. 1 little airplane flew too close to the tree, and he got scared. And then there were, how many were left now? 1, 2, 3. 3 airplanes. Good job. 3 little airplanes up in the sky. 1 little airplane went to Timbuktu. He got lost, and now there were only 2. Good job. So now we have 2 little airplanes up in the sky, flying through the clouds up so high. 1 little airplane tried to fly into the sun. He got so hot, and then there was only 1. So I wonder what happens to this lonely little airplane. 1 little airplane in the sky, flying through the clouds up so high. He got lonely since there was no one around, and joined his friends who were down on the ground. The end.
Now let's get ready to do a shadow play. We'd like to share with you the shadow play for the book It Looked Like Spilt Milk by Charles Greenshaw. It looked like spilt milk, but it wasn't spilt milk. It looked like a rabbit, but it wasn't a rabbit. It looked like a sheep, but it wasn't a sheep. It looked like a mitten, but it wasn't a mitten. It looked like an ice cream cone, but it wasn't an ice cream cone. It looked like a bird, but it wasn't a bird. It looked like a tree, but it wasn't a tree. It looked like a birthday cake, but it wasn't a birthday cake. It looked like a squirrel, but it wasn't a squirrel. It was a cloud. The end. Hi, we're gonna get ready to sing a scarf song. If you've got scarves at your house or some kind of a towel or something that you want to swing around, let's get ready to do a scarf song to Lori Berkner's The Airplane Song. Can you be an airplane? Can you slow it down and land your plane? Jump. Can you jump?
Get back in the airplane, up we go. Going to California is next to know. Now slow it down and
Land your airplane on the ground.
And when you get out, you're gonna spin all around.
Oh, it's so much fun to be an airplane. Let's get ready to do some STEM activities all about things that fly. Let's do some activities that really reinforce some understanding of how things fly. One of our favorite activities that we love to do here at the library is to make a helicopter. In order to make a helicopter, we've just got these cut from construction paper. You can do construction paper or cardstock. You're going to cut your piece of paper 11 by 3. You can kind of see how I have it laid out. You're going to kind of have a fold line. You're going to cut in where you have a solid line, so down the middle and then on the sides. And then where you have the dotted lines, you're going to fold. So I'm going to take mine, I'm going to fold it in to kind of create a handle and then fold up at the bottom. So it looks like that. I'm going to take a paper clip. On both of the activities we're going to do today, we're going to use paper clip kind of as a weight for it. So now I have something that looks like this with a folded handle and a weight on the bottom. Then I'm going to take, notice that I've kind of created a fold line right there. So I'm going to take my propellers, I'm going to fold one to the front, and I'm going to fold the other one to the back. So that now it looks like this. And then just invite your preschooler. Now you can decorate these with some small markers. You don't want to use, with some small stickers. You do not want to use markers. Markers wet the paper and make it not as sturdy. I actually did this one after school program. We used markers and they plummeted. So you do not want to use markers. You want to make sure you use crayons, colored pencils, maybe some very, very small stickers. And then you just take it, throw it up in the air, and then it will kind of propel her down. Let me see if I can get that up in the air a little bit higher. There we go, up. Whoops, my table. There we go. So kind of have fun with your preschooler making a helicopter. So that's our first activity. Another really fun thing to do is just very limited supplies is to make a straw airplane. So in order to make a straw airplane, you're going to need a straw. It matches my red, so it's kind of blending in. You're going to need 2 pieces of either construction paper or cardstock. One is cut 8 by 1, and the other is cut 6 by 1. You're going to take those and you're going to create some little loops with them. Let's see if I can get this done with just a little piece of tape. I'm going to tape those together so that I've got a very small loop, and then I've got a larger one. Again, you can have your preschooler decorate these, maybe put their name on it, practice writing their name so that it's their airplane, Jennifer's airplane, or Chris's airplane. Then you're going to take the loop. I'm going to kind of sit mine up. I'm going to put my straw on the inside, and using a piece of tape, I'm going to tape my straw on the inside of my loop. I'm going to take another piece of tape, and I'm going to tape my other loop. Oops, let me kind of spin it around here on the other side. I want to make sure that my pieces of paper are kind of across from one another. So that's kind of straight. Then the next thing I want to do is I want to make sure, again, that I have a little bit of weight on my airplane. So I'm going to take my paper clip and I'm actually going to clip it inside the straw and the paper. Then I'm going to take my airplane with I'm going to do the little in front, and I'm going to fly it across the room. And it flies really, really far. It's so much fun. And like I said, with just something like paper and a straw, some tape, and a paper clip, you have a great airplane. Another fun thing to do, this is something that I did with my grandson this weekend, is to do a cloud, like a experiment with how rain falls through a cloud. So I've got just a little pitcher of water. You can use a cup. Something you want to make sure that your cup is clear where they can see through it. Some shaving cream on the top. I probably should have shook it a little bit more. Then you're going to take some food coloring and just let your preschooler kind of experiment with squirting some food coloring. I like to have them do it kind of close to the edge. They can kind of do it all around. And the food coloring is going to start to work its way through the shaving cream and then down into the water. Let's see if we can get a couple more. And there it goes. So maybe make a cloud. Let's finish with an action song. This action song is called The Airplane. We're going to pretend like we are an airplane. We're going to put our arms out to the side. And it goes, the airplane has great big wings. The propeller spins around and sings. Can you move your arm around like the propeller? The airplane goes up, and the airplane dips down, and the airplane flies all around our town. Can you be an airplane? Let's get ready to do that one more time. The airplane has great big wings. The propeller spins around and sings. The airplane goes up, and the airplane dips down. The airplane flies all around our town. Oh, that was so much fun. I love learning about transportation. We hope that you'll join us next week. Next week we'll be starting a brand new month and a brand new series of story times all about our family. You know, Mother's Day is coming up, so it would be a wonderful time to learn about your family, your friends, your day, and even your birthday. I think it might be close to someone's birthday whenever we do that. So we'll be wishing me a happy birthday as we learn all about the wonderful person that you, as we celebrate the wonderful person. It's me. Let's get ready for our hands to give thanks. I'm just being silly. And it's time for our hands to give thanks. Our hands give thanks with the clap, clap, clap. Our feet give thanks with the tap, tap, tap. Clap, clap, clap. Tap, tap, tap. We roll them together and we wave goodbye. See you next week.